20 years ago, 5 individuals set out to make the most important discovery in human history: to find the lost tomb of the last pharaoh of Egypt, an ancient crypt built just before the mysterious disappearance of the Egyptian Empire 3,000 years ago. These 5 individuals were the legendary gambler and explorer Sugoroku Muto, the ruthless millionaire and financier Gozaburo Kaiba, the renowned storyteller and master of mythology Pegasus J. Crawford, the world's foremost expert on Egyptology Arthur Hawkins, and Koyo Hibiki, an enthusiastic college intern whose valuable contributions earned him a permanent spot on the team. For a decade, these 5, dubbed the Seekers of the Lost Millennium, combed over ancient texts, brought history to life with technological reconstructions, and charted miles upon miles of forsaken desert land. Until finally, 10 years ago, they found the tomb, and deep within, they found evidence of an Egyptian ritual that brought real monsters to our world and harnessed their power. Almost out of money, they brought their discovery to the prince, who gave them unlimited resources to excavate the tomb. It would take time, but the prince believed that they could bring this dormant power to life. At the very bottom of the tomb, within the pharaoh's chambers, they also found 3 golden items: a ring, an eye, and an unfinished puzzle contained within a mysterious box. After much discussion, it was decided that Gozaburo would receive the ring, Pegasus the eye, and Sugoroku the puzzle. Finally, their job was done and their journey together was over. Gozaburo sold the ring to a mysterious consortium of wealthy investors who pooled their resources to purchase the artifact, and overnight, he became the richest man in the world. He then started Kaiba Corporation, where he continued research into their discoveries until he was overthrown in a corporate coup mere months ago by his adoptive son. Since then, no one has seen nor heard from him, and he is believed to be dead. Pegasus kept his item and started Industrial Illusions, where he partnered with the Midgard Kingdom to create Duel Monsters, a game based on the slabs found in the tomb. Arthur, who only ever joined because of his love for ancient Egyptian culture and artifacts, stayed in Egypt, where he continued to pursue his passion until he went missing earlier this year. Sugoroku, ashamed at what they had done and fearful of what they had unleashed, hoped to put the past behind him. He settled down and started a game shop in Domino City. And Koyo, the heart of their group, died in a tragic accident not long after their final excavation. Welcome to the Duelist Kingdom, the first ever Duel Monsters International Championship, hosted by Industrial Illusions and sponsored by the Midgard Kingdom. Today, competitors from all over the world have gathered on Pegasus's private island in the Pacific to compete to win the title of King of Games. But beneath the glitter of competition lies a darker intrigue. Just a month before the tournament, the Midgard Kingdom's servers were hacked, unleashing a torrent of secrets that rocked the Duel Monsters world. These hackers leaked to the world the existence of the Millennium items, 7 artifacts of unimaginable power. The kingdom believes that if all 7 items are gathered, they will give the wielder unfathomable power to control, reshape, or even destroy the entire world. However, the items can only be claimed via willing surrender or trial by combat. And in a strange twist of fate, Duel Monsters itself seems to serve as such a trial. Together, these developments mean that we are introducing 3 new mechanics to the Zero Chronicles story. Firstly, the Millennium items are our first ever magic abilities. These abilities will have a real effect in Zero Chronicles duels. The second one is called Ante-Up. Duelists who own certain powerful items and cards will be forced to put them on the line when competing in tournaments. The winner of that tournament can choose one Ante-Up item or card to take from any other competitor in the tournament, whether they face them directly or not. If one faction is able to gather all 7 Millennium items, it will have a massive effect on the Zero Chronicles story. Lastly, Millennium item holders are able to invoke Shadow Games, where duelists take on the full brunt of attacks to their life points. If the winner of a tournament is part of a faction that invokes shadow games, then every duelist who directly lost to that faction will face a penalty or incapacitation, which varies depending on the faction. This will last until someone else can win a future tournament against the leader of that faction and rescue those who were lost. Now, back to the story. With the secret out, Pegasus decided to capitalize on the buzz by giving non-qualifying competitors another chance to compete to win a Millennium item. The rules are simple. If you find your way to the Duelist Kingdom, you may compete. For regional champions, finalists, and semi-finalists, this task was simple. They were given plane tickets and an official invitation signed by Pegasus himself, granting them free passage to the island as a matter of right. But duelists who hadn't qualified had to make their own way. The sky was a non-starter. Any unauthorized aircrafts who attempted to enter the airspace above Duelist Kingdom were immediately shot down by airships on loan from the Midgard Kingdom. The only way left was by sea. Any boat or ship who dared enter the waters around Duelist Kingdom faced a gauntlet of Industrial Illusion's ruthless enforcers, the notorious Player Killers. These Player Killers operate like pirate crews, boarding all incoming vessels and challenging anyone on board. Upon defeating prospective challengers, the Player Killers pick apart their vessels for valuable items, leaving them stranded at sea. For a duelist without an invitation, every duel on the way to Duelist Kingdom is a risk, and failure could mean a devastating setback. The few non-qualifying duelists who are able to step foot onto Duelist Kingdom Island are immediately recognized as official participants. But they must stay wary, for the strongest of Pegasus's Player Killers roam the island proper as well, competing as his champions in the tournament, mercilessly eliminating anyone unlucky enough to come across their path. We begin our story on day 3 of the tournament, where only 32 competitors are left. All 32 competitors are spread out across the island like a giant Hunger Games, and their matches are broadcasted to the world via the thousands of cameras that Pegasus has meticulously placed around the island. Each match that you see represents 2 competitors encountering one another somewhere on the island, perhaps by chance, or perhaps because one sought the other out. Without further ado, let's meet our competitors.